Well, my love of horror started when I was a kid, watching the Universal Monsters and Godzilla movies. I have quite a few Godzillas here at my desk. When those movies appeared on a local Boston television program called Creature Double Feature. And I watched every Saturday from ages like 7 to 10. And yeah, those movies, silly as they were, gave me nightmares. It didn't help that I was afraid of the dark, and I used to sleep with stuffed animal fortress built around my head. And yeah, I'm really considering bringing back the stuffed animals to help me sleep again now. Later, when I was a teenager in the latter half of the 1980s, the fun Hollywood horrors started to mix with the Reagan Cold War realities and the very real possibility of nuclear Armageddon, as well as our government's shameful non-response to the AIDS epidemic. And yes, as grim as the 80s were, I still needed horror stories in my life then, because that writers and filmmakers demonstrated through their work that they recognized there was something terribly wrong in the world, no matter how grim or glum, that those writers and filmmakers felt like I did. That helped me feel less overwhelmed and less alone. That's how horror stories gave and give me hope. Now, of course, there's no shortage of real-world horrors now, including the genocide being committed by the Israeli government, the worsening climate crisis, emboldened white supremacists, the assault on reproductive rights and queer and trans rights. I don't have an easy solution to offer to you, but I am confident that adding more Trumpian horror to the mix is not a solution. In 2018, 2019, I wrote a novel called Survivor Song, and that book was published eventually in 2020. And it featured an outbreak of a super rabies virus, as well as an overwhelmed and underfunded medical community, anti-vaxxers and conspiracy theorists, all stuff that became really familiar to us. Yeah, that book was a barrel of laughs to read for the poor readers of 2020. But at least that book didn't have an ambiguous ending, right? Anyway, in Survivor Song, my least difficult fictive forecast was that a Trump administration would respond poorly to a pandemic. If anything, I underestimated how poor the response would be. Unfortunately, in 2024, we're at the precipice of full fascism, and it's not difficult to predict the horrors that will unfold if Donald Trump is president again. Believe that man when he says he will persecute his enemies. Don't believe that man when he says he will not enact the monstrous retrograde visions of Project 2025. Okay, that's enough of the grim. Where's the hope? The people who organize this event give me hope. The people participating tonight give me hope. The people watching tonight, you give me hope. The people out there organizing and volunteering and protesting and demanding what is right from their elected officials gives me hope. So please, get out there and vote for Harris Walls so that we can continue to work toward and demand humane policies for the benefit of all. Thank you.